We'll explore a little more about the process, like GoGuppy's operations itself. One is on the vendor side when you were working on it, and some of the key learnings that you had. And we'll also talk a little bit about how you went about user acquisition, right? One with the limited budget, and we'll also then talk about some do's and don'ts when it comes to customer acquisition.
You're right. It's not a traditional business. They haven't set up shop and registered for GST, and
Yeah.
they're not an established entity. That being said, they are very shrewd business people, businessmen and women.
Mm.
And the thing here is that you need to form personal bonds. So when we went and told them that, we're building this app, a platform where you will still end up getting how much you're getting by selling right now. Your customers will get a good deal, and we're not going to be predatory like Swiggy's and Zomato's. We'll make payments on a daily basis.
Mm.
And when we establish those line of trust with them, they start believing in you and they start pushing you. So we had this vendor called Milan Koirala from Maya Momos in HSR.
Mhm.
He was our star vendor. So he literally told us, put up a poster here. I will tell everyone who comes to my shop to buy from this.
Mm.
And he left Swiggy to come and join us.
Mm.
So, it is these personal relationships that we have, and it is something which is extremely important in a sector like this.
Mm.
And that is one of the reasons I said that it's tough for us to scale, because I can't imagine how we would have created personal relations with
Yeah.
every single vendor that we had. But that's something that we should have looked at cracking.
Mm.
But yeah, that's extremely important, building those relationships. What was the second part of your question?
User acquisition. So now let's go
Ah,
into this, and yeah, we'll talk about like user acquisition in general on sort of like a limited budget, and then let's go more in depth about like do's and don'ts that you've seen. So we'll talk broadly first.
Got it. So one thing that we were clear from day one is that we are not burning money. We did raise funds, but those funds were to grow the business. I mean, not to grow the business, to refine the business, right? So we were not at a stage where we put money at the problem and it solves itself.
Mm.
So from then we were like, we need to make sure that we are only spending money when we are getting money into the company.
Mm.
So all our customer acquisition strategies were focused on conversions rather than impressions,
Mm.
right? So we first had to identify who are our users, okay? And we could have gone and bucketed them and said that people in this area, in this locality, who are between this age group, who have searched this and do digital marketing campaigns. But that's a game that we can't win
Mm.
with limited budget, right? It's like customer acquisition costs on social media is about, I'd say 300 to 600 at the minimum for, food companies.
Mm.
And that's something that we can't afford,
Mm.
you know. So we decided that the best way to acquire customers are the customers who are already eating at those stalls,
Mm.
right? So if we onboarded a vendor in Malleshwaram, say MES Egg Rice, we knew that everyone who came to MES Egg Rice wants to eat MES Egg Rice,
Mm.
but they can't get it delivered to their house. That's
Mm.
because that guy is not willing to go on Swiggy's and Zomato's,
Yeah.
because the entire infrastructure doesn't support street food delivery, right? So that's when we went and told them, let's put some posters in front of your shop. And we came up with this mechanism called pickup, where for the first order, we give you 25 rupees off
Mm.
at the stall without any markups. So we were losing 25 rupees per customer acquisition, and that's basically it.
Mm.
And this person has not only used our app, but they have placed an order, gone through the entire flow,
Mm.
seen how easy it is for them to place an order. And next time they can do this from their house. So on the checkout screen, we had the option to either do pickup or delivery.
Mm.
So we already trained the customer that this is a possibility. We
Mm.
targeted the customer who was already eating there. So there's no better way to target them.
Yeah.
And our entire acquisition was only 25 bucks.
Yeah, it's like instead of building your own like customer persona and all and like targeting them, you're already working with businesses that have a customer
Exactly.
persona and
Exactly.
customers
Yeah.
acquired. That's a brilliant point. Like that was very
Yeah.
insightful. Yeah.
So that's something that really worked for us. A lot of our customers came there, and that had a amazing repeat order rate. So
Mm,
these are people who use the app who already eat there, so it was a no-brainer for them to just stay at home and order next time. And what we did make sure is that right from the beginning, we were looking at giving either making net zero or a small margin. And
mm,
what we notice is because the cost of street food is so low to begin with,
yeah.
even if we marked up the prices and charged the customer for delivery and
Mm,
gave a small discount,
mm,
we were still making about 15 to 20% profits on the order. So
mm,
on a unit order level on deliveries, we were profitable
mm.
right from the beginning.
Wow.
Right. So that's something that's very important for us. I mean, that was a very important factor for us, not spending money simply on, marketing. We
Mm,
did try every other channel. We tried YouTube ads, we tried all those, but we didn't spend more than, I would say, a lakh on all of those channels put together.
mm,
And for this acquisition for around 2000 orders that we processed, average cost of customer acquisition was around 30 to 35, I would say.
mm.
That is dirt cheap. That is like
Yeah.
nothing.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, especially when, like you said, right, they've gone through the whole process now, and just for 30 rupees, you've sort of got a person to try out the entire thing and
Yeah, yeah,
all it like it's not even so much about the experience beyond that point anymore because they're getting food from the place that they want it to.
yeah.
And if they're getting it in their house, they are happy already, right? So they are probably
Exactly.
gonna come back as well. So yeah,
Yeah. And
brilliant.
initial days, it was very important. So I personally called everyone who did deliveries and asked them how they found out.
Hmm.
Yeah. And double down on those efforts.
Hmm.
So what we found out was that there are some vendors who, like Milan, who was actually promoting it actively. So
Hmm.
in order to incentivize Milan, we came up with a vendor referral program and
Hmm.
gave the vendor a coupon and told the vendor, the next time you tell a customer and they do a delivery order with this coupon, I
Hmm.
will give you 25 rupees and the customer 25 rupees.
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
Right? So a 50 rupee, the vendor was also incentivized to keep promoting it, right?
Yeah.
So it was all like, how do we get customers at the cheapest possible thing, but we shell out money only when we can record that an order has been processed on our books.
Hmm.
Till then, we don't shell out money.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
approach.
Yeah. Yeah.